Welcome to another video. This is ChrisUX for the Inspire Agency. I'm a UX designer based out of Atlanta, Georgia. And today's video is launching your UX career. Pro bono work for new designers and real world experience. Before we get started, definitely hit the subscribe and like button. You can also add me on LinkedIn under ChrisUX. Have any questions or anything, shoot me a connection, drop me a message. I'll get back to you. It's all good. The purpose for today's video is tailored for designers fresh out of boot camp seeking real world experience. You already spent all your hours and months learning what UX is and learning the process, whether it's through a Google program or a full-time boot camp. So now it's like, okay, you're done, you got a portfolio, and now you want to start looking for a role, a paying job for it. And oftentimes it doesn't quite work out that way. So 'cause all you have is your case studies and your projects with no real world experience. So one thing you can do to add real world experience to your portfolio is by doing free work. Why you should do free work? It enhances your design skills and provides valuable real world experience. And in the competitive market, having tangible case studies set you apart. That's so true. I mean, boot camp is one thing. Boot camp, you do learn a lot, but real world experience make you so much better as a designer because it's no set process. Boot camp and these courses, they teach you a certain process to solve problems, but as you work with real clients, every client has a different problem and has a different way of solving it. So, it's good to have some real world experience. It's kind of like keep on your toes, become a better designer and a better problem solver. And also, you know how competitive UX design is these days. The market is hot. Last I checked, but it's more hot for like mid to senior designers, not really for junior designers. So, which means they come out even harder, right? Um, I've been to when I finished boot camp, I was attending all these events and tech conferences, and I've been talking to recruiters. And one thing all the recruiters kind of told me is like they don't really take clients straight out of boot camp into an employer. They just don't. They really has my real world experience. So until how it goes. Like you can't get a job if you don't have experience, and you need experience to get a job. So it's like, okay, you're in a never ending circle. So one way to kind of like to get past is by doing free work. All right, so it's like, okay, so how do you find this work? Well, you can attend different startup pitching events. You can participate in design competitions, network and relevant events, see internships and apprenticeships. I've done it all, especially like seeking internships. That could be such a headache because that almost as hard as finding a real job, you know. But I've done it all. I did it. One day I will tell my story and probably do a video about the design competition I was in. I'm constantly going to events, constantly going to startup pitching events. Even now, I still go. Not so much just of course, to find clients for the spy agency, but every now and then, like if I see something that really catches my eye and want to do pro bono, I do it. All right, so when you come to free work, you have to have the right mindset. All right, success comes from genuinely caring about solving problems. You have to approach each project with a mindset geared towards meaningful solutions. And I say this because we live in such a selfish generation where, you know, man, especially here in Atlanta, it's like this get over mentality, it's this scamming mentality. Uh, you can only get but so far with that type of mindset. Like, so you take it on this free work, don't treat it as free work. Treat them as a paying client and have a mindset that you really want to help them solve their problem. Because not only is it better for them, it's better for you as well. So you got to have the right mindset. Just don't come in there with attitude. Don't come in there with attitude like, okay, I have to do this. Just get over with. Like, no, like have passion behind your work. Even when it's free. Don't neglect the UX process. Businesses may focus on the end product without considering the crucial UX process. Advocate for and guide them through the importance of the comprehensive UX approach. I can't tell you how many times I come across like even trying to offer free work when I came out of boot camp. And of course, everybody's like, okay, yeah, I need some new UX, I need some new UX, I need UX. And their thought process of UX is they need some screens, they need their app designed out. You know what I mean? They need UI work. and you ask them, well, where are all the research to guide me with the design? They can't show you. They just know they need an app. They just know they need pretty design, and they just totally neglected and skipped the UX process. So don't let them do that. So you looking like when you looking seeking out for your free work that you want to do for your portfolio, you kind of they interview you when you interviewing them. You have to see what their mindset is because like I know for me, I'm a leader in my own right, so I can only follow under leadership that I can respect. If I don't see it and I don't see it there, I won't do the work. So ask questions. Like it's like even they may have a dope idea or a dope startup, ask questions and see how they really operating because if they just have a good idea and they just want to hop straight into development and skip the whole research process, honestly, I would tell you don't even waste your time with them. Just to find you someone else to work with because if that's the case, you can build your own. I mean, I just did a video about that. You can build your own UI portfolio. It ain't nothing for you to go to Dribble and Chat GPT and come up with some designs that that's all you're going to do. But this is what you're trying to do is you're trying to solve some real problems here. So you're not solving a problem by taking the idea and hopping straight into design. You really have to go through the UX process and really, you bulk of your work as a UX designer is the research. So don't let them do that to you. So interview them. Make sure it's the right fit for you. Define the scope, set boundaries. Clarify that you're building a case study, not committing to a full-time role. Establish boundaries on the extent of work you're willing to undertake. I'm speaking from experience. Coming out of boot camp, bright-eyed, naive, and I had to learn the hard way that communication is key, and you got to define what the scope is, and you got to set your boundaries because you don't find yourself working on a pro bono work for months, trying to solve one problem. Like, no, this is the scope, this is the boundaries, this is what I'm willing to do, this is the problem I'm willing to solve, and I plan to have it solved within a month. Like, you're not trying to drag this thing out, because you're just trying to build up your case studies. You are trying to get your real world experience, but the ultimate goal is to land a paying role in tech, right? A paying role in UX, and you're not trying to drag yourself out on some free work. So you set the boundaries of what you want. Uh, I attended this design sprint masterclass a couple of months ago, and I liked the way they did things. So they saw problems within a week. You know, I am at the point of my skill set that I feel like I can solve that problem within 2 weeks. So I'm setting a 2 week boundary if I am doing something like pro bono, uh, because most of these startups and businesses they're gonna have multiple problems, right? You just choosing one problem and you want to solve one problem. That's it, and you moving on. Now, if they want to retain you and pay you to do more and solve more problems, great. Hell, have at it. But define what the scope is and set the boundaries from the beginning. Like lay it out and not just talk to them. Lay it out on paper. Like type it out and let them see it. Like so you have an understanding, a clear understanding from both sides. This is what we're doing. Because otherwise you find yourself dragged out in a situation, and I don't want you to experience that. Ensure you're solving their problem. Focus on understanding and addressing the core issues faced by the client. Your work should provide a meaningful solution to their challenges. Let's go back to having the right mindset. Don't think it's like a boot camp type thing where you just do a typical survey, interview, comparative analysis, persona, conclusion. They may not be the solution to their problem. Like I say, every business have a different problem. Every problem have a different solution. So make sure you're really solving their problem. Think it all the way through. Yeah, cause and then like the end. Well, for me, the deliverable is a slide deck of walking through what the problem is, how it solved it, and then what's the next steps. Like I said, the next steps is all the other problems that they have. You know, create a case study, document your experience, even if it doesn't end perfectly. Showcase the process, challenges faced, and lessons learned. Comprehensive documentation adds depth to your portfolio. Not every situation is going to end good. I'm just going to be honest with you. And even if it doesn't, I mean, that is business. And even if it doesn't, it's still a case study. So don't feel like it's just wasting your time. as you mapping out your case study, you map out, document what happened that was good, and happened what was bad. And if the result of it ended up being bad, what I mean by bad, it could be a point of you did the work, you offered a solution, and then that founder or that startup owner or small business, they just didn't execute. Because I know oftentimes in the interview, like, okay, well, what happened? You did this work. Did they? What was the matrix behind it? What after you did it, and it may not be any. Like, this is what I did. I presented my work, and they didn't follow through with it. That's on them. That's not on you. So you can, and then actually be good for your it's good for your case study anyway, because oftentimes in most interviews they're gonna be asking you, how do you handle adversity? What I mean? So like they will ask you the type of questions anyway, because they know in UX everything doesn't go right like all the time. Like show them the frustrations you get to deal with sometimes, or fighting to get a decision pushed your way, or when the majority disagree with you and had to go with somebody else's solution, not your own. Like document all these things, because that's just a part of the UX process. Like yeah, it's not all green grass and roses. I mean, it's some lows and some valleys to it, so, and that's fine. Conclusion: by following the guidelines, that you're not only gaining practical experience, but also strengthening your portfolio with impactful case studies, position yourself for success in the competitive design landscape. Yeah, and I'm just really just kind of like all this. I'm speaking from personal experience. I've done plenty of free work as I was trying to land. I started doing free work while I was in boot camp, because that's how bad I wanted to land my job in UX. So if you are familiar with my story, I landed my job within 2 months after boot camp, when the average is between 6 to 12 months. But it wasn't like no sheer luck type of thing. Like I'm grind. I was blessed with it, and I grinded. Like I stayed ahead of the class. Like while class still working on a project, I was seeking out a client already on the side. Like I was just trying to level up as fast as possible. And so and like, so try to don't frown upon the free work. Yeah, think about this: free work could be your ticket to your next pay grade. You know what I mean? Like I came from working an hourly job in a big box retail to a salary position in UX, and when I to get there, I did free work. You know, but it just how you maneuver with this free work. Just make sure you're moving with purpose, and you defining the scope, you setting your boundaries. Uh, and then all this help with communication skills anyway, because if you're a UX designer who desire to work for startups and stuff, you're gonna be wearing these many hats, right? But if you're working for enterprise, you may have a designated researcher, you may have a designated PO and talking to the stakeholder for you and whatnot. But it's still good to know these things. Cause all this is gonna make you a better designer, for better or for worse. This is gonna make you a better designer. So, and then also too, because as you try to look for a job, and you telling the hiring manager that you've been looking for a job for the past 6 months, since boot camp, that's another thing they're not gonna want to push you up, because like, okay, what have you been doing the past 6 months? Have you been enhancing your skills? You try to stay busy and keep moving and moving forward, and show how you've been progressing and still working on your craft. So I just want to do a quick video to showcase these things, to lead and guide you in the right direction. Once again, if you have any questions or anything, reach out to me on LinkedIn, ChrisUX. Thanks for watching. Later.